Well. We back. Welcome back.
Get it.
49er Empire Podcast. We here. I am Akeem. This is my
And this is
co-host.
Blair. This
Hey,
is Blair
man.
Coates talking to you.
Hey, man. We in here, man. I am happy today, man. We got a game this week, man. Bye weeks are good.
Finally.
Finally, man. Bye weeks are good when we're in the hunt. You know what I mean? And I still think we're kind of in the hunt. We have a little bit of hunt in us right now. And I think that we have a big opportunity this week to do a little what we call sweep. It's a big week. First and foremost, I want to talk about the scandalousness of the NFL. I want to talk about this.
God.
This is ridiculous. They postponed this Ravens game, and it seemed to me it's like pre-calculated. Oh, both of them have playoff implications.
There you go.
We want to make sure this game is seen as a prime time. But we had to play Green Bay Packers with practice squad players. They didn't care. And if you notice, the next day they allowed Debo and all of them to come back to practice because it was a fake. It was a fake positive. How did you feel when you read that today, man?
Well, I didn't call me a conspiracy theorist, but I believe that the 49ers get screwed all the time by the NFL. It's just something that I see historically happen. We see it with terrible calls against the 49ers. It's just something that's been going on. So when I read that initially, and let's go back to when the 49ers were told they were going to have to go with the practice squad players against Green Bay. The story already came out before the game that the players did not have COVID-19. They never contracted the virus. So to withhold the players, it just made no sense. I mean, there was no rule. There was no protocol in place. It just made no sense. The protocol was for if people had COVID. These individuals didn't have it. So now when you fast forward to this game, it's a totally different story. And I think that you nailed it from the get-go. There's playoff implications for this team, but also what I've always been told, follow the money. Okay. Like you said, they know that this game is going to bring in cash flow. People are going to watch Lamar Jackson. He's very interesting. Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are undefeated. It makes sense why the NFL would do this, but it just continues to prove my theory that I just think it's not. Obviously, the NFL doesn't believe that it's the Niners' time to win the big one. They keep on putting things in our way to get us there, and then they allow other teams to it totally seems unjust. I look at it and I'm like, man, once again, the Niners are getting the short end of the stick.
Man, I don't even want to. Well, I don't know, man. There was a couple calls in the Super Bowl. That George Kittle call right before the half, that offensive pass interference. When it's crazy because I think that's his name for the Vikings wide receiver, a week before did something against the Saints, just dominated them like that. But then when George Kittle do it, it's a flag, man. And it's a couple things, man, that I can point at, but I really
Nick
don't.
Bosa couldn't get a holding for anything.
Oh my God, they were holding Nick Bosa all game long. Man. I mean, I think that was almost the plan. We just going to hold him. We can't guard him. I mean, what can we do? We have to contain this guy. So I don't know, man. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but this is definitely not a conspiracy right now. This is a fact. This happened. No explanation. I mean, even if they did it, I think it was a blanket statement they threw out, if I'm not mistaken, about why they did what they did, and because I think it was an uproar about us, us 49er fans and not playing games. So we was up in the uproar, talking a lot, saying a lot of things, but man, it really bothered me, man. It's been on my mind pretty much most of the day when it came to NFL. I'm gonna deliberately not watch that game now. I'm not gonna participate. So to all my 49er fans, time to boycott, man. Let's boycott
the game.
Let's boycott that game, man. We're not going to support them. They want numbers. No, we're not helping out with that. But let's get into it a little bit, man. This this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about next week game. Let's talk about Patrick Willis, Brian Young, have a real good opportunity to get into the Hall of Fame, man. Just give me your memories of those two, man. I know you're a huge 49 fan like myself, and you go way back, man. I have my memories, man. Tell me your memories about B. Young and Patrick Willis.
The biggest thing from B. Young were just the sacks. I mean, this was the first time, and I was really, really young. So this was the first time that I seen a player dominate like that on the line and was able to get to the quarterback. And so that kind of intrigued me, especially in Pop Warner football. I want to be like 9'7" and go out there and lay people out on the defensive line. And so when I graduated to being more into the team, right, and that was later down the line, Patrick Willis came. I'm not going to lie to you. I really had no film on this guy. I had no clue that Patrick Willis was going to turn into the guy that he is, right? He is the prototype linebacker. I mean, I don't even think they make guys like this anymore. Like when you look at the linebackers up today, they don't look like Patrick Willis. Like this guy is a physical freak, right? Mm-hmm. And when you ask me my biggest memory, I'm going to take you back. So we're playing this. They were playing. I believe it's the Seattle Seahawks. Some historian, they can grill me if I'm wrong in this. We're playing the Seattle Seahawks. I believe we are in 49er territory. They could have the possibility of scoring. Hasselbeck throws a terrible pass to Patrick Willis, and Patrick Willis, not only does he intercept the pass, he takes this pass all the way to the house, right? He gets 6 points, but just the way that he did it, it was early on. I believe it was kind of early on in his career, and it just kind of showed you the exact player that he was going to be. I believe Navarro Bowman benefited so much from being right there with Patrick Willis, just like Patrick Willis benefited from being with Takeo Spikes. But man, great memories. I had more memories watching Patrick Willis, but Brian Young was more so me getting into the Niners and just really, for me, I idolize defense for some reason, just because I seen him getting to the quarterback. I don't know. I'm not an offensive guy. I'm more so the guy that wants to punch you in the mouth, and that's just what he resembled for me.
Yeah, man. I just remember him at Ole Miss, and then when he ran in the combine, I think he ran like a 4.3, 4.4 40. And I knew then, I was like, this guy's a specimen. What I did remember is I remember Mike Singletary. I think he was our linebacker coach at the time. And I forgot who drafted him. Either was Mike Nolan right before, he left or whatever. But so I just remember him in college just putting the hard hits on cats. But I just remember when he came to the team, we wasn't that good. We were pretty bad as a franchise with no direction. And he just played lights out. He didn't care. I remember he had like 150 tackles his first year. I mean, he was like unstoppable. He was all over the field. You knew that we had something. You knew we had a building block that we can use to, get us to that next level, man. And I was so happy for Patrick when he went to the Super Bowl. Even though we didn't win, that was hard. And I know Frank Gore and Vernon Davis, Colin Kaepernick, even Randy Moss was on that team. Dante Whitner, all them guys.
Deshaun Goldson.
John Goldson was a monster, wasn't he?
Man, that was my guy.
Hey, my boy. Who's my boy? The cowboy. What's his name? The D line.
Oh, Justin Smith.
Justin Smith. Oh, he was
9-4.
He was a savage.
Yeah,
Justin Smith was an absolute savage. That team is going to go down in history as one of the best defensive. I remember we did not give up a rushing touchdown for like damn near a year. Like it was damn near a year. And I think Marshawn Lynch finally got us on one. But he worked hard just to get that. And I just remember how I felt when it was him and Bowman and them out there. But even before that, my memories of Brian Young. Brian Young was also in a time where we were just okay. And he had some rough years with the Niners, but he was a Pro Bowler. He was really good. He was really, really good. I'm not for certain if he's going to get in this time. I think he was up last time. He didn't get it, but I'm rooting
Yeah.
for all my Niners, man. I've been to Canton, Ohio. I don't know if you've ever been, but I've been to Canton,
Yeah.
Ohio. I've been to the Hall of Fame ceremony. It is a beautiful thing. I know it's going to be different now because of COVID, but
Yeah.
they do it really big. I've seen the bus. I've seen the game, the just the experience out there, man. It's pretty exciting, man. I don't know if you ever went, but man, you want to make a trip out there, man, in Canton, Ohio, man. It's a beautiful thing. But
No, that's definitely something that's on my bucket list. I would love to go see just one of our 49ers go ahead and get in. But it's funny though, because I thought Patrick Willis would be first ballot, but someone brought up a good point to me last night. We were in the gym, we were talking about it, and they said, so Patrick Willis plays for about 7 years, right?
mm-hmm.
He logs in, about 733 solo tackles, 950 combined tackles. It's just, I think, the longevity. When you look at some of those other linebackers that are in Canton, they played, 10 plus years. And it's just unfortunate that turf toe, once again, I think he had turf toe on both feet. It's unfortunate that his career just got cut short.
Yeah, and I think he knew when it was time to let it go. I thought he was better than Brian Urlacher. I know they played at the same time, and I know Brian got in, so I'm pretty sure Patrick Willis would get in. The only knock on Patrick Willis that Brian Urlacher had was that Brian Urlacher got a Defensive Player of the Year award, and Patrick Willis never received that. He's never received that. So that right there, I think is the only really knock on him. But I think overall, man, he should have been in he should go right into the Hall of Fame. I think B Young. I think B Young got a good opportunity now. I know there's a lot of people around, Rodney Harrison, Peyton Manning, and them other guys trying to get in. I see somebody. I see somebody in the. I see one in the comments saying Roger Craig isn't a Hall of Fame. Why isn't Roger Craig a Hall of Fame? I've been saying this for a couple years now. I always felt like Roger Craig. Roger Craig was pretty much the first like all around running back. If you really want to look at what he did for the NFL, he was pretty much an all around running back. Running backs wasn't traditionally catching the ball out of the backfield like he was. I know Bill Walsh created a lot of that, but he definitely should have an opportunity to get in. Also, he's kind of one of those players though. When we get really old and we're talking to our grandkids, and they're gonna be like, Hall of Fame, Roger Craig is getting in, and grandkids gonna be like, who is Roger Craig?
Yeah,
and I'm like, sit on this couch. Let me tell you who Roger Craig is, boy.
He has a lot of competition, man. The running back class is just heavy. I mean, if you just start naming some names, it makes sense why it takes a while for a running back to kind of get in. But when you look at the one person that I never understood, 49er, Terrell Owens, I never understood it. And my pops, he used to always try to explain it to me. He would say Terrell Owens, wasn't going to be first ballot because Terrell Owens, he talks too much, right? But when you look at the numbers, what he did on the field, when he put the red and gold on, I know he put on another few other lousy colors, but when he put the red and gold on, man, I mean, this guy put up the numbers. I think he's right behind Jerry and some of the greats. So I don't know. Once again, Niners on the short end of the stick.
All day, man. I'm rooting for Patrick Willis. I think he's a great humanitarian too. What he does off the field, still is doing off the field to a lot of people. I take a lot of respect for people who love human beings, man, and really, use their wealth to help others out. They've been blessed with it, so why not help others out? And there's a lot of people in need, and he's a good human being. So, I definitely wanted to talk about that's the easy choice. That's also easy choice for them to go ahead and pick. Patrick Willis for that. I think Brian Young probably have to wait maybe 1 or 2 more years to get in. But he's just as, he's still a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer is Hall of Famer. First ballot, second ballot, third ballot, doesn't matter. You get in, you are who you are, man. Patrick Willis, I think, gave us some good years when we were really, really, really bad. I mean, we were
phenomenal
we
years.
2 wins, 3 years. 3 wins, 5 wins. Then Jim Harbaugh came and we were like 11 wins. And
he was part of turning everything around. That's why the Niners started to turn things around. I mean, that draft pick and then bringing in Justin Smith, and then a little bit after that, Alden Smith. Like, there was a combination of players, front office work that just had that team thriving. And I think, man, credit to Mike Singletary when he told Vernon Davis to go pick up that helmet. I'm telling you, the team started to turn around. I can't win with him.
Can't win with him. Won't do it. Won't do it. I want winners. I want somebody who wants to win. I love it, baby. You can't be mad at that at all, man. So that's his fact. But let's talk about that team a little bit more, though. Like you said, man, I remember Ahmad Brooks was pretty good. Ahmad Brooks was a good one. I remember Culliver wasn't that bad.
I didn't like Cully. I didn't like him back there at all.
I like Cully. Cully was a nickel guy, and they made him play corner, but he was a nickel guy. Joe Staley. I see it. Joe Staley came in the same time. That was a huge draft for us. Joe Staley. And I remember they both came in the first. DB. They came in the first round. It was was it Brown? It was Brown
Carlos.
Carlos Rogers.
Carlos Rogers?
Yeah, Carlos Rogers.
I couldn't stand that guy.
Oh, what? I love Carlos Rogers, baby.
Carlos. There was a guy number 22, and I think it was him, that was always getting cooked.
Oh, you talking about back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
About before. You talking about Nate Clemens? Was that Nate Clemens you talking about? When we signed him for $80 million, Nate Clemens, he used to be.
That might be him.
Cooked. Oh my God.
Carlos Rogers too, though, a little bit. Carlos Rogers wasn't that solid for the Niners. I didn't think.
Carlos Rogers was Pro Bowl them years. Yeah, he was good. Trent Brown was the other one. Maybe you're talking about Trent on the other side, man. I don't know, but I know our safeties was two dynamic players too.
Oh my God, yeah.
They were headhunters, and I enjoyed that team, and that was a great run. And then Randy Moss, people forget Randy Moss played with us in the Super Bowl, man. Like, he was catching some balls, man. Mm-hmm. He was catching some balls. Who else was there with us? Anquan Bolden. Oh, he was a grown man. Anquan Bolden was a grown-ass man, bro. When he played for us, he was a grown man. And our running backs, coach Frank Gore, and Hunter. We had Hunter, who backed him up.
Yeah,
man, we were nice, man.
You remember Glenn Coffey?
Oh yeah, I remember Glenn Coffey. That's crazy, man. Hey, man, the love for the 49ers, baby. And that was a good team, man. And that's another reason, man. He got to the Super Bowl. He didn't win that thing, but just the leadership. He was playing hard. I just remember, man. And then you never seen him complain. Yeah. He was just really about the 49er. So
yeah, great teammate. Like, when you have kids that play, like, you want them to play like Patrick Willis. Was he your biggest vocal leader like Ray Lewis? Was he dancing around coming out of the tunnel? No, but guys wanted to play for him. Guys ran through brick walls for Patrick Willis. Man, I nothing but the best for Patrick Willis, number 5.
Hey, they brought it up. Young brought it up in the comments. Said Delaney Walker, man. Hey. Delaney was a monster. He was a monster, bro.
Yes, he was. He was.
Delaney was a straight monster, man. I don't know how we forgot about that guy that quick. I thought he was better than Vernon Davis. Vernon was all right, but Vernon got better when Mike Singletary checked him. After that, Vernon was Pro Bowl. I mean, he was killing. Even in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, you know,
Vernon just got messed up by Cam Chancellor on the sideline. That was it. He got messed up off that, I think, man.
Oh man, hey, I couldn't say nothing, and I think that's another reason why I hate the Seahawks, man. They used to always, every big game. Remember we had every big game we played is always on the road. Thanksgiving game, and we played against the Harbaugh brother, and we had to go out there, and we got skunked. And then, on what is it, New Year's Eve or something like that, we playing on the road to Seattle. It's always the biggest games on the road. We had some big games in the stick. And like the one against the Saints when Patrick Willis, when we beat the Saints, Dante Whitner knocked that boy out, knocked that running back out.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember the comeback with Alex Smith and I got so much respect for Alex Smith. I always root for him, man. Even I know he's playing for Washington, and we're gonna play him this year. Probably I don't know if he's gonna come back after this year. I mean, he doesn't look too good, but I just got a lot of respect for Alex Smith, man. He didn't complain when he was here. He didn't. We gave him a long chance. We gave him a long time. We don't have that type of rope no more. Just like for Jimmy G, we ain't got that rope no more. That rope,
not when your team's good.
That rope is out of here, man.
Yeah, not when your team's good. Niners got to figure that out. I mean, you got Brandon Ayuk. You seen he's coming in second out of all the rookie receivers, like coming in second. And who's throwing the ball to this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just imagine what you will see when he has a true QB1 throwing darts. It's going to be, like you said, Isaac Bruce 2.0.
Yeah, I like Debo too. I like both of them together, and I think they both bring different elements, but I think they're both just as good.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this week, man. Let's talk about this Ram matchup. It's gonna be rough, man. They're playing really, really good. They're playing on a high level. We got a lot of guys out for COVID. We just can't catch a break. But, give me your thoughts on the game. I know we have, we're a couple games back. We're in striking distance from making a run. So talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. We got a lot of guys coming back too. I've seen Richard Sherman practicing. I see Mostert practicing. I seen Jeff Wilson Jr. practicing. Watch out. Then they just took the suspension away from Williams. Come on now.
I'm gonna say this.
Come on now.
And from the beginning of the year, when we started talking about us playing the Rams, I said anytime that the 49ers play against the Rams, my money's going to the 49ers. Why? I fully believe that Kyle Shanahan is Sean McVay's father. I'm just going to say that, okay? I believe it. Sean McVay, all he does, he runs the same offense. Like if you watch some of the Rams plays, what he'll do is he'll take some of the good plays that Kyle Shanahan does against him, and he uses them throughout the season, which is smart. It's a copycat league. You're supposed to do that, even without Jimmy G being there. I fully believe that Kyle Shanahan is going to scheme up. He's going to scheme up the Rams like he continues to do, like he's done since he's taken over for the 49ers. He's going to scheme up the Rams. He's going to tell Robert Saleh exactly what Sean McVay wants to do, and Robert Saleh is going to take that away. It's going to be a difficult game for Jared Goff. It's just going to be difficult. Jared Goff looks good against everyone but the 49ers. He just does. And I fully believe he's going to try to do the boots. They're going to try to do all the things that are successful against teams that don't realize what they're doing. But when they play the 49ers, it's like going up against your big brother, your more muscular brother, your better looking brother, the brother that everybody likes. Okay. That's what's going to happen. I have the 49ers beating the Rams 24-20.
Wow. I don't have us, man. I actually got us getting beat up pretty bad, man. And the reason why is I just don't believe in Nick Mullins. I don't remember Nick Mullins winning a back-to-back game, even though, we lost the last one. But, again, I don't see him coming out. And I think it's on his shoulders, man. And I don't see it happening. And it's rough for me because we got a lot of guys that, like Trent Williams, I mean, he's out on COVID. Like, it's huge. Like, he's like our second best player on the football team. So I mean, I think
you'll have some issues there. You'll have some pressure there, but I think there's a scheme in place for something like that. It's not going to be a blowout. The Rams are not going to blow out the 49ers because the 49ers have the same plays. And so we know what they're going to do. I think they're going to keep this close, and the 49ers have every opportunity in the world to go ahead and sneak one in on a Rams team that's probably looking at the 49ers banged up saying, this isn't the same team that we faced last season. We can go ahead and roll over these guys. And I think the 49ers have a good chance of going ahead and winning this game. Honestly do.
I just don't know when Nick Mullins is going to show up. If we're going to get the
one?
Yeah, if we're going to get the Nick Mullins that wants to turn over the ball and give it to the other team, then we're going to get blown out. If Nick Mullins comes out with some type of energy and will to try to win, and just take a sack if he needs to, doesn't try to force the ball. I think we got opportunity, man, but I do think we lose this game, unfortunately, man. I'm a touch of 49er fan. It's hard for me to say this, but the 49ers will lose this game, I say 24-9.
That's a good score.
And I just don't think we may not get in the end zone, man. I just don't. I just think if Nick Mullins is playing one of them games, we may not score. We may, get some Robbie Golds, but it's really tough, man. It's really tough it's just tough for me to see this, man. I mean, it's hard, but I know this is not my 49ers. I've seen Eric Davis on another 49er podcast saying this is not the 49ers you're playing. Like, you're not playing the 49ers that went to the Super Bowl, nor are you playing a real reputation of the 49ers. There's too many guys injured.
Mm-hmm.
So I take that with a grain of salt, man. The only light at the end of the tunnel is that I really believe that we need to move on for Jimmy G going into next year. And then we got action, I think. We got action. But I think if we go back to the well and see what he can do, and I just think we're missing opportunities like for Brandon Ayuk's and the George Kittles and them guys like that. And that's another huge weapon that's out for us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's the biggest weapon. And honestly, to piggyback off what you're saying, the biggest obstacle for the 49ers is getting healthy. I mean, look at that list. It's incredible. There's 15 players on there last year. IR, I think there's over 15 this year. Half of our salary cap is in the IR list. It's just incredible. If the 49ers can find a way to get healthy and keep bodies on the field, I mean, they will be in most of these games. And Eric Davis he's completely correct on that. Watch out for these 49ers next season. Okay, watch out for a healthy 49ers team. Watch out for a Nick Bosa ready for revenge. Watch out for George Kittle ready to prove that he's worth that money. I mean, just watch out for the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk is a wide receiver one that just needs a quarterback to throw bombs. That's it.
Man, it's hard. I'm really looking forward to the game first and foremost. Let's say that because I love to see us play, but I want to see a couple things to see what improves. I think Jason Verrett is playing at a Pro Bowl level, which is very encouraging for me going into next year. Yeah. I think this next football games, I'm gonna really be looking at Jimmy Ward. I'm gonna evaluate him to see if that's something that we need to keep going into next year. I'm looking at Emmanuel Mosley. I'm also not going to look at Eric Armstead. I'm gonna give him a pass because he's playing out of position. So it's kind of hard for me to judge him when he's playing out of position, at a position that he's never really played. He played a 3-4 back in college at times, but he, on the end, but he's not really in that system. I mean, again, he's not skilled to play that position, so I can't really get mad at him for that. And then, ever since Dre Greenlaw has got the starting gig, he has not had a good game. And
not one good game yet.
Sometimes no competition can really ruin a player. And Jimmy G's a prime example. I mean, he's just way better than Nick Mullins. And he knows that. And he knew that nobody's standing behind him in order to challenge him for the position. But Greenlaw, I need you to step up. This is the game. You need to step up, and I need to see you play. Fred is going to be Fred. Yeah. Mike McGlinchey. I'm going to be looking at him too. I think Mike McGlinchey needs to be evaluated. I think he's a CD guy this year, C or D player. So I'm gonna be looking at Mike McGlinchey and see what he does. And then also too, I'm gonna look at Coleman when he comes back. Coleman's been injured most of the season. I like Coleman a lot, but I'm gonna evaluate him and see if we really need Coleman going to next year. I believe we do, but I just want him to show me that we do. I know Mostert is our best guy, one of our best guys on offense, and I also like Wilson Jr.'s nice backup. So, it's a lot of things to evaluate. With Tomlinson, our other lineman, what's his name, Brunskill, what his name is. We those guys need to be evaluated. Like, we need to see if this is something that we want. I mean, we know Trent Williams he's a Pro Bowler. I mean, he's one of the top 3 left tackles in football still. He took a year off. That's how good he is. So, man, what are your thoughts looking into the game? What are you going to be looking at, and what are you going to be looking for?
I'm not looking at Nick Mullins because I've already figured out who Nick Mullins is. I'm more so looking at, and I'm not going to lie, all eyes are on Brandon Ayuk. I just like to see what he can do against the top competition out there. And it's funny because he's always getting open, and every week he's more and more solidifying why he should be in the position of wide receiver 1. But I'm like you. I have no faith in Jimmy Ward. I don't even think an evaluation is necessary. We've seen enough. We know that Jimmy Ward, not a ball hawk. He will tackle you if he needs to. He's just not special. Same thing with Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, can he play in the NFL? Sure, but I don't think he's special. And so there's a lot of guys that are not going to be suiting up in the red and gold next season. Speaking of the offensive line, I think you have to restructure it. I just do. I think Mike McGlinchey is a liability if he chooses, and I said this last podcast, if he chooses not to come in 15 pounds with 15 pounds of muscle gained in the offseason, that lets you know everything you need to know, and you need to go ahead and start bringing in guys that can go ahead and fulfill the position. I think you also have to figure out what you're doing at center. Are you solidifying that position? You have a lot of injuries there. And how are you going to pay Trent Williams? You need Trent Williams. You do not want to see Trent Williams go. He is your strongest lineman. Like, that's what it is. He's your strongest lineman. You have to give him the money and build around that. But your offense is pretty much there. You're just missing a solid quarterback, right? You have phenomenal receivers. You have a great tight end. You just need that quarterback.
I think it's a huge battle going on between KB and Richie James for that third spot, and I'm really looking to see that battle. I know they rotate the two, but man, I love to see competition there. And Richie James showed me something, man. He showed me that he's able to get out there and get busy if we start slanging him the rock.
It's just difficult because I know that KB, he's long.
Big too. He's big. He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think that's a great battle. And then, we all want, the ghost of Jalen Hurd to come back and show us something, man, from next year, man. But I don't know. Man. I think that's going to be a good core going into next year. I still think we need to draft one more speed guy. Maybe a guy who can take the roof off. Maybe somewhere mid draft. Maybe we can find somebody that can do that. But he said KB's more clutch than Richie. Richie's more explosive. Yeah, I do think I do think KB is a little more clutch. I mean, he's big on third downs and he's big in the red zone. I mean, maybe because he's a physical guy, but he's good at both of those. So that's a good point, man. But
I like to see Richie in that. Like, have we seen Richie in that position where we've called on him to do what KB's doing? I'm not sure we've seen that and can say that Richie wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, did you see what Richie James just did a couple of weeks back? I don't know if you swap out Richie James for Kendrick Bourne in that game and make Kendrick Bourne the focal point, does he put up those same numbers?
I don't think so. Only because I think he was running the X, and being an X, you gotta be pretty explosive, and I think he is a lot more explosive for that position. I don't know. That's just how
that
I
makes a
feel.
lot of sense.
Yeah. But let's close it out. But give me a do better going into this game, man. Give me a guy that you say, you know what? I need this guy. In order for us to win, this guy needs to do better.
In order for us to win, who needs to do better? It's obvious that Nick Mullins has to do better for the 49ers to win. But I think it's Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle Shanahan has gotten his way this entire season. Maybe he wants to. Maybe he's trying new plays out. I don't know. I think Kyle Shanahan.
I like Kyle. I like what he's doing.
Me too. I love what he's doing. And I think he's not only is he your coach of now, he's your coach of the future. This guy is going to win a ring with the 49ers. You can take your money to the bank and cash it. I'm telling you. But what I'm really feeling is Kyle Shanahan needs to dial up the simple plays, the simple scheme, not the 4th and 1 and throw, a screen to Trent Taylor. Not that. We don't need that. We don't need the bubble screens and sweeps and reverses when you can kick a field goal. We don't need that. Just call up the simple plays. Take your 3 where it comes. Go ahead and beat the Rams and go ahead and prove my theory right that you are Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay's father.
Hey, man, I'm going to say my group, man. I'm going to say the offensive line. I think they need to protect Nick Mullins in order for us to be, because Nick Mullins is not afraid to go downfield, but he starts getting tunnel vision when they're moving him around, and he just starts throwing it to the other team. But I do think that Nick Mullins needs to do better, and I think in order for this to work, I think the offensive line and Nick Mullins need to have a great game in order for us to win this football game. Hopefully, I'm wrong about us losing that game. But I don't think so, only because they've been playing well and we haven't, and that matters. That really, really matters. So, anything else before we get out of here, brother?
Man, Niner fans, look forward to that draft. Keep watching that college football like the rest of us.
Man, we loving it, man. Hey, stay close to college football, man, because we're going to be picking high. We lose this game. It's already tough for us right now, but if we lose this game, we're going to be even more on the clock. Hey,
I know.
Hey, so this is Akeem, and I am so happy you guys joined us today. And that's Blair Coates, and we're going to be out. Peace.